I'm interviewing Shabnam Vasisht. Hello, Shabnam.
Hello,
Where are you from?
I'm from India.
And what were you doing before you left India?
I was working as a commercial artist, as they called it in those days, in India, in northern India, in central India.
Okay, and was that a usual thing for women to do at that time?
A bit, yes, because mostly women were involved, the middle class women were in the nursing or teaching professions and in medicine, and the poorer classes were in the domestic sector.
So when did you come to Ireland?
I came down in 1977.
And how did it happen that you came to Ireland?
I was travelling overland from through Asia and Europe, and when I came to Ireland, I was travelling with a few people, and then I stayed with them, and then somebody asked me to have an art exhibition. One thing led to another, and I stayed.
I'm glad you did. So at that time, was it easy or difficult to come to live in Ireland?
No, it wasn't difficult.
Okay, was there any kind of queue when you needed to apply for a visa?
No, because there were so few people coming to Ireland that you had to actually ring the bell and bring your dad to the window in the immigration office in the Garda. And they used to joke and say that, hurry up and get your naturalization so we can have our tea in peace. That was then. And then after a while it became take a ticket and sit down because everyone would check. And then after the expansion of the EU, it became so busy that people were queuing around the block, and some were taking advantage of that queue then while queuing in the block, around the block.
Okay, so at the time that you arrived in the late 70s, there weren't many other Indian people on the streets. So when did you meet other Indian people?
I had absolutely no contact with Indians until I went to the National Day in India House, which is the embassy's residence, and that's where I met Indians and I still meet them.
Okay, and you bought a house in Ireland?
I do.
Okay, so as a single woman, was it easy for you to buy a house or not?
Well, as a single woman it wasn't, because I had no father or husband to stand guarantor for me. The bigger problem was actually getting a deposit. But once I got the deposit together, I put in a mortgage, arranged. A mortgage was arranged. And I bought my house just before the cancer started.
That was lucky.
Yeah.
Didn't you tell me once that you had a female bank manager?
Yes,
Thank
you for reminding me. I belonged to Network Women in Business. I was secretary. And one day a woman stood up and said the women are discriminated against by the banks, but she's a bank manager, and if you need anything, come to her. And so I asked her, and she arranged my marriage.
That was terrific. So later on, you brought a family member to Ireland, which is a very natural thing for anyone to do. So why was that?
My mother was a retired principal of a boarding school in India, and she had two sisters, all three daughters were living abroad with no intention of going back to live in India. So after I bought my house, I felt I had enough security to offer her a home, and I went and bought her to live with me. She was 74 years old.
Okay, so at the time, what was the conditions like in India? Was it a big advantage to her to come to Ireland for safety, for income, or what?
No, nothing at all like that, because she had a very comfortable lifestyle. In India, she was principal of a boarding school, she had a good salary, and she had a nice house and everything. So no, it wasn't for economic reasons at all. It was nothing other than the fact that her children were all living abroad. My sisters were married, and I felt I was single, and I was able to offer her a better home than I'd done if I were married.
And you both took citizenship in Ireland. So was that easy or difficult for you at the time?
In my day, it was very easy, because that was over 30 years ago. So it was very easy for me, and the God actually filled in my form for me. But when my mother's time was, it was after 3 years you applied, and then the 4th year you got your citizenship. So it was very easy for me. But for my mother, it wasn't difficult, because firstly she wasn't taking jobs, and she wasn't, the applicants were all in perfect order. She had no problem, but she had to wait at the usual.
Okay. So what kind of support did you gain from the social services in Ireland?
We have had very good support from them, particularly when my mother was ill, because not only did they move in to her property, actually moved into her team as well to look after her. And we've never had a problem with them. They've always been kind, and even the welfare officer who was dealing with that case was very helpful.
That's good. So tell me about your projects which have featured Indian history and culture.
In my art, I usually try to include an Indian theme of some sort. The last exhibition was with an Irish poet, and she responded to my art with poems. At the moment, I'm working on a book which is being funded by the county council, and it's to do with with a project I have started on Irish people who worked in India during the Raj and are very exciting. So I do research in my local cemetery, Dean's Grange. After I've written about all the people in Dean's Grange, I move on to other cemeteries.
Are the Dean's Grange Cemetery workers happy with this?
Yes, the superintendent is very interested in my project, and he's been a great help, and he has been persuading me to write a book on it. So,
lovely. We look forward to seeing it. Is there anything else you'd like to
well, I'd like to say that having lived here this long, my mother and I have both been very happy here. My mother's ashes went down the Avoca River when she died, and I hope mine will go into the atmosphere.
Great. And I hope that will be a long time coming, Shabnam. Great. Thank you very much.